everyone. Welcome back to our Golden 20s podcast. My name is Sadie, and I'm joined by my co-host Tegan.
Hey.
And we are back together this week after Tegan's solo episode last week. I was out living my best life in Mexico, but I'm back, and I'm so ready to jump into today's episode because we are talking about our fall favorites, and I'm fully embracing fall these days. So this episode, I'm so excited for it. But before we get into it, I feel like we have things we want to say, mainly Tegan. So I'm going to hand it over to Tegan. our technical lead of our Golden 20s podcast.
Yep. Well, the first thing I wanted to say was that this was actually an episode that was requested through our Spotify.
Oh yeah, true.
So yeah, if there's ever any topic or question or thought you want to share with us, that's a really good way to do that. I check it probably every single day, so be sending in your thoughts. Obviously, if you're not a Spotify user, you can also be messaging us or emailing us or anything like that. So that was the first thing I wanted to share. The second thing is that we are hopefully going to be sharing this episode on YouTube. If you're listening to this podcast and you go to our YouTube and it is not there, I'm keeping this in to show that failure is okay, because I'm trying so hard. I have like a whole little plan to launch our YouTube channel. I've been posting shorts there, and so that's the goal, but we will see. This is our first test, and if it goes well, like, we could just transition the whole thing into doing video podcasts, or I don't know. I feel like a lot of people listen to podcasts on YouTube, or they like having the visual element of it. I don't know. So
yeah, I know I'm a big YouTube watcher. I feel like the time I listen to podcasts, I'm typically like on a walk, or I don't know, doing things where I'm not like needing the visual, where it's just like headphones in, podcast on, time to focus or whatever. But I feel like it could be fun, just like girls' night. Yeah, and if you're seeing our video right now, I definitely have my glass of wine. Like, this is the vibe our Golden 20s is made for, just like friends hanging out, catching up. So if you guys can see us, that makes it all that more real. So hopefully it works out, but who knows? We'll see. Yeah. I love that you're like, we're leaving it in regardless, because it's important to remember not everything works out, but we're hoping this one does.
Yeah, exactly. We're also recording this on a Friday evening, so that's a very specific vibe. It's Friday the 13th.
True.
So that's spooky, I guess.
I feel like this is maybe one of our first time recording on a Friday night. Like, usually we're like weeknight or like a Saturday morning or like early afternoon. So who knows? Maybe it's going to get unhinged. Talking about fall on a Friday night?
Yeah. Friday the 13th?
You guys are like, yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah. I think, okay, what else did I want to talk about? We have discount codes in the description, in like the bio if you're watching this on YouTube. And so I have a feeling we might be like revamping some of this for the holiday season. I'm envisioning us doing like gift guides or something.
Totally.
I'm very ambitious today. If you couldn't tell, I'm just coming up with grand plans.
I'm writing notes, being like, okay, so what is the homework from this episode?
And so I just wanted to say we have discount codes there. Our big one is 20% off mod products. I love mod products. I have an abundance of them. I spend a lot of money with them. And so I encourage you to do the same, but not too much money, because you can use our code for 20% off. And we have a bunch of other ones down in there. We have our Amazon storefront, which has some of our like day-to-day favorites or things we've mentioned before on the podcast.
Yeah. And I think we can bulk it up with our fall favorites too. Like, if there's anything that we mention in this episode that's like a product, I want to buy it, we will do our best to link it on our Amazon storefront, so you can find it there.
Even like books. I know we have a section on our Amazon storefront that's like books we've talked about, things like that. So I just wanted to sort of, I don't know, bring that up again in case anyone's interested or didn't really know what the links were. That's what's going on there. And the last thing before we actually start talking about our fall favorites is I really want to do a Q&A episode because I feel like we have a bunch of new listeners and listeners who are maybe like joining us recently and don't know that much about us. And so I thought that could be fun. So my plan for this episode is to set the Spotify question to be like, just send us the questions. Yeah. And so obviously if you're not on Spotify, we will probably do something similar on Instagram and then we will try to answer them.
Me writing down another note. Can't put it on Instagram. I'm going to have to listen to this episode back and be like, hey, what are all the things we're saying and promising?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the idea of a Q&A episode. And you guys have actually been so engaged in the Spotify like question box that we've been putting up. So we love that so much. Like Tegan said, this is another episode that was requested through that. So please keep dropping it if it's episode ideas, if it's specific questions about us or specific scenarios and situations you're dealing with in your life that you want advice on. Like just drop it in there for literally any episode, but especially on this one, like Tegan said, where we're like asking for you guys to commit or to submit questions. I was merging those two words together. I feel like it's so fun to interact with you guys this way, and we are loving it. So definitely use that.
Yeah, I think those were all of my housekeeping things I wanted to say.
I also didn't read through the housekeeping, so I'm like, I probably could have actually mentioned some of these points, but way to keep us organized.
It's also like I had a whole solo episode where I could have just said these things. But no, bring it up now.
Today is the day that we are feeling inspired. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into it, guys. Like we said, today's episode is all about our fall favorites. However, we're doing it in the fun report, like TikTok trend format. So I've never done a report before. I feel like it's typical to do like a weekly report. But like we said, we're doing a fall report. And if you aren't familiar with this, report stands for the R is reading, E eating, P playing, O obsessing, R recommending, and T treating. So we're just going to go through, give you our fall report. I definitely have, you guys know me, I have a lot to say at all times. So I have so many honorable mentions and like other recs and just like other fall favorites that I'm also going to like throw in. But I tried to come up with just one thing for these things, but it was hard. So, so it's a little bit of a fall report, fall favorites, fall guide, a little bit of everything fall.
I love it. Well, I guess the first is reading. Sadie, do you want to share what you're currently reading or what like you just read? Anything?
Yes. So I actually just started a new book this week and I saved it for October because it's a little bit of a thriller crime book, which I thought would be good for like a spooky month like October. And it's also like a cozy read. So I'm reading Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. And we read as part of our book club, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which was by the same author. And I actually think one of those characters from that book has been mentioned in this book already, which is kind of fun when that happens. So anyways, it's another one of her books. I gave that book, I think, 4 or 5 stars. So I'm hoping to like this one just as much. It just came out, I think, in the beginning of August. So literally like 20, maybe 30 pages into it. So can't say if it's good yet, but like I said, I have high hopes. Also, just recently finished this one. I hope doesn't trigger Tegan, but we also read part of our book club, A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, whatever. And I really liked it. Tegan did not, but I gave it 5 stars. It was another kind of like, Teg, I hear that. The like, oh man,
his side,
his side, yeah. It was another kind of like murder mystery thrillery type, and I just feel this is the like season for it. So wanted to put that on the list. And then one more book rec. Like I said, I have all the favorites and recs. If you're not into the whole thriller crime situation and you're more into like the romance books, I also just read The Long Game by Elena Armas and really liked that one as well. It was like got spicy at the end. I just lent it to Tegan, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. Spicy at the end, but it was definitely like a slow burn, you know? So it was like good, but it was like all the action happened in the end. So
right.
It was good, but it was also about like sports, and it kind of took place in the woods in a cozy cabin. So it was very like fall vibes, and also just came out recently. So there you go. 3 books. 1 I'm currently reading, 2 I recently read.
Love it. Yeah, I am also currently reading a spicy book. I might say that this is the spiciest book I have ever read.
I've heard
the book,
this about it.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's the book Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. It's like, I'm only 100 pages in, and it's already the spiciest book I've ever read. So I'm like, where are we going to go from here? Because this is insane. It's maybe too spicy where I'm like, I need to stop reading this because this is insane. But the whole reason I started reading it is that I had heard so much about hockey romances, which as a Canadian, I was like, that's disgusting. Who would want to date a hockey player? Like, to me, it's like, okay, so they're smelly and hairy. They're missing teeth. Sounds great. Obviously, the guy in this book is not like that. He's like just a regular hot guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is my first dive into the world of hockey romances, and I know this is like one of the top like genres of romance this year, so I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, we'll see. I do like it so far. It's just like very intense. Where
I heard it's like straight up smut. Like, it's not even like spicy. It's like, next
there's
level.
very little talking or like characters. It's just like
okay.
Okay. So
interesting.
It's interesting. I like it so far. I don't know. It's not, I was expecting like the cozy vibes. Like sometimes I read like cheesy novels, but they're almost give like that Gilmore Girls effect where like they're in a small town and it's giving like
a Hallmark movie. Yeah,
exactly. This is not that. They're like, you don't need to know. I think it takes place in LA. They're like, we mentioned it once. Let's get to the spiciness. So
that's so funny. Oh man, I also feel like I need to find, like, for our listeners who aren't Canadian or even in Toronto, I feel specifically there's such a like Toronto man's like persona that when you combine that with a hockey player, it's a lot. And to your point, Tag, it's like not in a good way. So there's this, oh my God, who is this creator? This guy, he created a video on it and was like impersonating being like a hockey guy in Toronto.
Mans. Yeah.
And it was so accurate where I was like, I've definitely been on a date with this guy. Like, but I need to find that just so we can really paint the scene on what Tegan's talking about when she's like, it's not a vibe.
We don't like hockey guys. Yeah.
No.
Even like NHL hockey guys. I feel like in all other professional sports, it's like if they've made it, like I don't watch football, but like I've seen Travis Kelce because he's dating Taylor Swift and they all seem fine. Like the Raptors, I'm like, damn, these guys. But professional hockey players, even ones that are like, first off, this is shallow, but they do not make a lot of money compared to all other professional sports. Like they're, they make okay money, but they're not like rich. And they're all just like little kids who are like smelly. They're all missing their teeth.
Have like flippy hair. Like think like Justin Bieber in like 2007. Like that is hockey hair. Yeah.
And
so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. So the characters in this book are not like that. So it's good. Like they're hockey players, but it's like, I don't know. It's probably like if you're a doctor and you read a book and the guy's a doctor and you're like, okay, this guy's not a doctor, but
yeah, true. Man, I'm laughing to myself because we were saying, maybe this episode's going to go on YouTube, but right before we started recording, Tegan's like, people on YouTube are so mean. Like everyone's dragging us in the comments already and we're not even on there yet. And now I'm like, oh God, now we're opening up the floodgates. It's going to be like, hockey's the best sport. And like, we're so shallow for talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars being nothing compared to hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
True.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I should have brought up the YouTube.
We stand. Yeah. We stand by our words here, okay?
Yeah. Please, if you support us in saying that hockey players are stinky and gross, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we are just getting dragged every day in the YouTube comments for our thoughts.
Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, now I'm just going on. Like I said, this could be like an unhinged episode, but Tegan and I were sitting at a bar a few weeks ago and she's explaining hockey to me.
Oh God.
And the bartender, oh my God, Teg, I just have to explain this or share this, because the bartender, he was so cute and like such a fun like personality, and like, I don't know.
He looked like, okay, wait, now I need to look this up. Who's the guy in The Boys? Stewie? Is that his name? Do you know the show The Boys?
I only do because Chase Crawford is in it, and he's the love of my life since Gossip Girl. But I don't know anybody else in The Boys.
Okay, he looks like, oh my gosh. Okay, no, give me a moment and I'm going to look this up.
So anyways, while she's looking this up, the bartender, Tegan's explaining some hockey rules to me. We're just, chatting, whatever. There's actually, I could go on this whole story about this, but anyways, the bartender says that when he was growing up, his dad used to say that goalies are like hockey goalies are like onions because they smell bad and they make you cry. And we were both peeing our pants laughing. And I was like, so funny, because hockey players, we've said so many times, are so smelly. Goalies, sorry Tag, being the smelliest of all of them.
Yeah.
And then they make you cry. I was like, oh my God, sir, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's such a dad joke. And then this little like cute, like, I don't know, I don't want to say he was nerdy, but he was just like this like cute.
Yeah, he looks like the actor guy. Jack Quaid. Who plays Huey in The Boys. And he, like, Jack Quaid, he's like a good looking guy, but kind of in like a nerdy way.
Yeah.
So that's what he looked like. But yeah. And then he comes out having a conversation with someone else, and he interrupted to say this, because I was like, oh, I'm a goalie. And then he was like, oh, random people, by the way, and then just dragged me. It's like,
okay, I feel we need to tell the rest of the story. Sorry, guys. We promise we're going to like get on to it. But the people we were talking to, it was so crazy, because Tegan and I, we had gone for dinner. We went to another bar. Then we ended up at this bar, like really randomly, where we didn't plan on ending up here. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know, maybe midnight, 1 a.m. We're getting ready to go. And these two guys sit down beside us, and whatever, they're just like eating their food, drinking their drinks, like Tegan and I are doing. That night I was actually packing away so much Korean chicken. Do you remember? So I'm like sitting there just eating so much food. These guys are also doing the same, minding their business. Then we start talking about hockey. I'm telling Tegan there's 2 like calls in hockey I don't understand. So she's explaining it to me. These guys, so I'm really painting the scene for you guys here. But then these guys beside us start talking to us, and they're like, oh, we're from Florida, and like we don't know hockey that well. Explain hockey. So they get in on the conversation. The bartender cracks his joke, whatever. Turns out these guys were like, okay, if you're from Florida, what are you doing on Queen Street here in Toronto? And they had actually just played the Blue Jays. They were in the MLB. We were like, what? They were part of the Tampa Bay Rays. So we were just like, this is such a Sex in the City moment to happen. Like, they were definitely, I feel like, older than us, but Tegan's like, is this your Yankee? Like, and I was like, maybe this is my Yankee.
I don't think so. The one guy looked like Vince Vaughn, but like Vince Vaughn now.
No! I don't think that's true.
Okay.
BRB.
They were really nice.
I'm Googling. They were very nice. The one guy who wasn't sitting right next to me, but the other one, he was much cuter.
Yeah. He was, I was texting my brother because I don't watch baseball. We were literally asking them, we said we like the Blue Jays, and then we're asking them who is the hot guy on the Blue Jays, and they were like, ma'am, we don't like, I don't know. No, I don't like guys that way.
Yeah.
We were like, no, one of them's really hot, trust me.
And they did come up with it. It's Springer, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. How
Springer,
could I forget? Yeah. His posters are the wallpaper of my bedroom. How could I forget? Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, wow. Who knew we had so much sports talk today? All from stemming from your icebreaker read. But anyways, there you go, guys. Story time.
That's the R. This is going to be a long episode if it's... Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
We can probably breeze through the rest. Well, through the next one. E as in eating. Tegan, what are you eating?
I have been eating a lot of Alison Roman recipes, which I feel like I've talked about her before. I think she's cool. I've recently gotten really into YouTube, and she has a fantastic YouTube channel. And so I've been like binge watching all of her YouTube. It's like cooking like episodes. It's like cooking TV kind of, except they're like short little YouTube videos. And I have 2 of her cookbooks. So what I'll do is I'll like watch the episode on YouTube and then make it myself from her cookbook. And so I've been enjoying that. My husband requested a lasagna over Thanksgiving weekend. So I made her lasagna because it doesn't have meat. And I don't eat a lot of meat. And so that's like very rare in a lasagna recipe. So that I wanted to share. Honorable mentions, HelloFresh. This is not sponsored, but I love
we
some
wish
HelloFresh. I know. Please, HelloFresh, sponsor us. But I just feel like both my husband and I are very busy at work, and it makes it so that like we don't want to make the decision on what to eat for dinner. And so HelloFresh fixes that, which is why I like it. So
totally.
Yeah, that's my E.
I second HelloFresh. I got it delivered the day I got back from Mexico, and it was the best decision I could have made because I didn't have to go grocery shopping. Like it was just like, bam, we're jumping right back into the routine. We're not missing meals. Like HelloFresh has got your back. So I did have a correspondence with them in my DM. Maybe I'll be like, hey, I host a podcast. Sponsor us.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I feel like they sponsor everyone. Like it's almost insulting they're not sponsoring us yet.
Yeah. Okay. We're reaching out. Another thing we're writing on the to-do list.
That's for you to do, Sadie. I just keep throwing things for you to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What I'm eating, this is so specific, you guys. Outside of the Korean chicken I was just talking about, which I'm now dreaming of all over again. I've been so big into air fried Brussels sprouts. And I know that's like so specific, but if you're not eating air fried Brussels sprouts, what are you doing? Because they're like, they get crispy. They literally like the little like bits that flake off that get so crispy. Oh my God. I feel like I'm eating like kale chips or something, but like 10 times better. And I find like on Pinterest, all these different like dips you can make, like kind of like an aioli to dip it in, or there's like balsamic glazes, and there's so many ways to eat it. And it makes such a good side for literally anything else that you're eating. So want to put you guys onto that. I also feel like it's maybe Brussels sprout season. I don't know. I don't know if it's a fall vegetable, but
I feel like it is fall and winter.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so. And then speaking of fall like dishes, I've also been eating a lot of gnocchi, and I feel like gnocchi can be like a year-round thing, but it feels very fall to me as well. Especially there's a lot of like kind of like brown butter sage recipes with gnocchi and those sorts of flavors that are a little bit more fall. So that's also taken over my recipe board on Pinterest. So if you're looking for a gnocchi or Brussels sprout recipe, follow me on Pinterest. I'll save some for the podcast as well because there's so many good ones. And then I'm also a big like apple and pumpkin person. So I do have honorable mentions in this category as well. For desserts, I've been loving those like apple blossom things that are like kind of like little cakes but are like apple stuffed or like almost tarts, I guess. And they often come frozen and you just like throw them in the microwave for literally 60 seconds and bam, there's your dessert. So I've been loving those. The caramel ones are my favorite. I'm also a big apple cider person. So I've been buying that, drinking it pretty much like tea. It's the best. And then on the pumpkin side of things, I'm also putting pumpkin pie spice in everything. I think I maybe mentioned this last fall/winter, but literally I'm like pumpkin pie spice in my oatmeal, pumpkin pie spice on my French toast, basically any like breakfast food. I'm putting pumpkin pie spice in it. So also want to put you guys onto that. And then not pumpkin flavor, but still pumpkin-y is the Pillsbury Halloween cookies. Those are my favorite. I started this tradition with myself a few years ago where I make them on Halloween and watch Halloween movies, and it's the best. Like one of my favorite traditions. Literally, I do it by myself every year. But putting you guys onto those, and then last but not least, sorry, I know I have a million things, is ginger shots because it is cold and flu season. Everyone I know right now is sick. And coming back from Mexico, I was like, oh my God, am I getting sick? So I went to the store, bought ginger shots, and I am clearly good to go. Maybe a little too good to go tonight. But all because of ginger shots. So that's it. That's what I'm eating, drinking, snacking, desserting on.
Love it. Love it. I just realized I didn't even ask you how Mexico was. So sorry if there are podcast listeners who are tuning in to find out. That was my bad, you guys. That'll be next step. Your Q&As, you can ask that as a question, and I'm sure Sadie will tell you.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
100%. No, okay. That's all good. Okay, yep. P, playing. Here we go again. Tag, tell us what you're playing.
I am playing hockey. I have played 2 games for the first time in 10 years. And they have both been okay. We tied our first game. Our second game, we lost 8-0. So that was unfortunate, especially being the goalie. But you know what? I tried my best. Actually, the second one, I had more fun. So I was
that's like, what's important.
That's a win for me. But my team did not agree. They were upset. So, but I'm having fun.
Guys, and I'm the goalie. I'm making you cry, but in a bad way. Sorry.
Yeah, and I smell bad. So that's my bad.
Also, sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's been good. I wanted to join because I feel like it'll really make the winter pass by. Obviously, we're in Canada. The winters can be pretty chilly and dark. And they just like, I don't know, it feels like it goes on forever. I'm good with winter until like January 15th. And then I'm over it. Same. And we have like months past that point. So yeah. I just feel like it'll be really fun to have like a winter activity that I do every single week. And the team has been like super friendly, welcoming. It's a beer league, so they always get me a little beer. We go for like wings after. I'm the only girl, so I don't get to be in the change room with them. I get to be in my own little room, which is kind of sad, missing out on like, I don't know, the friendship, hanging
team
out,
bonding.
Yeah, listening to music. Sometimes I can hear their music, and then I'm like, oh, I wish I was over there. Yeah, but it's been good so far. So that's what I've been playing.
Love it. Okay, I haven't been playing any sports or any games, so I'm talking about what music I've been playing / listening to. Guys, I'm so behind, but I feel like it's still fall. I've been so obsessed, which this isn't the obsessed, it's the playing. But anyway, with Olivia Rodrigo's Guts album. I love it. So good. I probably didn't listen to it until like a month after it came out. I think it came out beginning of September. Yeah. And like I said, I was late to the party, but I'm so glad to be here now because man, it is banger after banger. You guys know my love for Avril Lavigne, and listening to it, I'm like, I literally feel like I'm in 2004 in my childhood bedroom, like listening to this. Other than now I can like relate to, you know, some of the lyrics where Avril Lavigne, she's like singing about stuff. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I feel that, even though I was like 10 years old. But anyways, yeah, I've been loving that. And then I also, again, honorable mentions, Noah Khan. I've been obsessed with him. I feel like it's just cozy vibes, and I love like acoustic-y, folky music year round, but I feel it just hits different in the fall. So him and Wild Rivers, similar kind of vibe. And I think I've mentioned them on the podcast before, but they're actually Canadian, and I feel like they're making it big. So I want to be like, yes, guys, you go. I'm supporting that. So check both, or I guess all 3 of those out. But my guess is you're already listening to Olivia Rodrigo and probably Noah Kahan. Because everybody
top in the charts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Great. The next category is obsessing. So this is lame. I feel like all of mine now I'm thinking about are kind of lame, but that's okay.
No,
that's just me.
That's fine.
I've been obsessing over Diet Cranberry Ginger Ale because it's delicious. I don't know. I've talked about my like 2 p.m. Diet Coke break. I've swapped it for a 2 p.m. Diet Cranberry Ginger Ale break. And it's just very, I don't know, seasonal. I love a good ginger ale. And it's like cranberry in color. So like I put it in a wine glass at 2 p.m.
Yes.
And like it's like a mocktail, but it's just ginger ale. So I'm obsessing over it clearly.
Yeah. And I think still, maybe not, but I think cranberry ginger ale is like a limited time only thing in Canada.
Yeah.
Like you can only get it between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's like when it's the season, we are drinking it. So I love that. Very fall. My obsessing is maybe generic, but I was just talking about 2004 Avril Lavigne vibes, and I'm keeping that going on the obsessing side of things. And my obsession these days is literally nostalgia. And like, I feel just fall is a nostalgic time of year for me. And I don't know if it's because it's my favorite time of year, because my birthday's in October. Like maybe that gets me in my feels and nostalgic, but pretty much all of my favorite things are very fall and have always been my favorite things, if that makes sense. So what I mean by this is the most basic thing I'm going to probably say this entire episode, but like fall is like Gilmore Girls rewatch season, but Gilmore Girls is so nostalgic for me because I would watch it every Tuesday night with my mom and my sisters. I would stay up past my bedtime. Like I think it came on at 9 until 10, where like bedtime was 9. So it was like the best.
Special.
And, the commercials are running and it's like, it's on, like you're out in the kitchen, your sister's yelling, it's on. You're running back to the couch. Like that was Gilmore Girls. I remember watching the finale on TV, like bawling my eyes out, being like, I don't even know who Obama is. Like, this is like way back in the day, So anyways, Gilmore Girls is so nostalgic for me. So rewatching it, I get those vibes. Same with Friends. I'm obviously always watching Friends, but it hits different in the fall, especially the like Thanksgiving episodes. And then Gossip Girl, same thing where it's like I watched this on TV all through high school, and fall is the best time to rewatch Gossip Girl. And then on the movie side, we've obviously got You've Got Mail, which has like always been my mom's favorite movie. So it was like, I don't know. It's just funny with like the like rise of TikTok and how it's making all of these things like Gilmore Girls, You've Got Mail, like blow up all over again, where it's like, oh, these things are so like nostalgic and like, I don't know, personal to me and my family. So You've Got Mail is another example of that. And then Harry Potter, same thing, where it's like, this is prime Harry Potter time, but it's like, I remember watching these in the theater, And then the last one, this one's going to be such a hot take, but I hope people out there appreciate it, this is the most nostalgic item on my list, and it's Halloween Town, like the Disney movies. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with them. So my Halloween tradition is making those Pillsbury pumpkin cookies and then watching 1 to 3 Halloween Town movies because they're like an hour long.
Love it.
I love them. So nostalgic.
See, my Disney Halloween movie, I had seen the Halloween Town movies, but I didn't watch them every year. What I watched every year was that terrible Tower of Terror Disney movie. So now that is my like nostalgic
Halloween Town
Halloween one, and it's so bad, but I love it so much.
That's so funny. I haven't seen it before, I don't think.
Oh man, you're gonna hate it because I feel like it's only magic because it's like and then I was like, I went on the Tower of Terror, like I was there.
I lived it. Yeah. People think the same about Halloween Town. Like I'm pretty sure my sister a few years ago tried to get her boyfriend to watch it, and he was like, this is literally the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's like, okay, but it's not nostalgic. Even I think people, like if you watch Friends or even Gilmore Girls, you're like, these characters are trash. And it's like, well, maybe, but it's nostalgic, like that was the 90s or like whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
So good. Love it.
So good. Yeah.
All
Anyways,
right.
our
Next.
recommending.
Yeah, I had some movies or just like old horror films kind of under recommended.
Tower of
And
Terror?
yeah, a lot older than that. But I just love the idea, and I try every Halloween to watch some like black and white horror films.
Cozy.
Yeah, and a lot of them are really short. I've been watching, so I have a subscription to the Criterion channel, and they have so many older horror films, although a lot of them are not copyrighted anymore because they're so old. So a lot of them are just on YouTube. And it's like if you're baking and so you want to have something on, and so it's black and white and the audio is like crackly and like you know the story, you know what's going to happen, and they're scary but they're not like scary. So I wanted to recommend that because I feel like every year I have friends who are like, I want to watch scary movies, but like I've watched everything on Netflix or like that kind of thing. So I don't know, I just wanted to encourage people to kind of branch out and maybe try some older ones. I've watched a couple from the 30s this year and had a grand old time doing it. The costumes, I was like, oh my god, horror films don't have costumes like this anymore. So, and I was baking while watching them, so it was great.
I can like envision that whole scene.
Yeah, the
like
setup.
You baking, the movie playing, the crackly audio, like that sounds so cozy and like such an ideal way to spend a weekend. Like I love that. Maybe it's raining outside a little bit.
Exactly. Like, even for like Halloween parties or like dinner parties or whatever, I put on like silent horror films. Because then I'm like, you still get to play your playlist or whatever, but there's some spooky things going on the TV. I don't know. I love them. So
I love that. Amazing. Okay, my recommended things are total opposite, maybe, where it's like pamper yourself, like tune in, focus. It is all on you kind of thing. So what I recommend, I'm obsessed with these and therefore recommending them, is the Patchology face masks, especially the Perfect Weekend set. So there's 3 different masks in there, one for hydrate, illuminate, and soothe. And you guys, I love these. Like here in Canada, I get them from Indigo. I don't actually know where else you can buy them. I don't think they're at Sephora, but anyways, they're like sheet masks. You leave them on for at least 5 minutes. Usually I leave them on until they dry out because we're like really soaking this in. But I took them to Mexico, and like after the flight, my face is like all red. I wore my mask on the plane because cold and flu season, no thank you. So my face was just like yucky. And then I took a shower, put on a face mask, and as soon as I took it off, my friend was like, you look brand new. Like a whole new woman has emerged, and it was all because of these face masks. So I just think with, chilly weather, we need to stay hydrated. So look for these face masks. And then outside of that, of course, I have one more honorable mention, and it is the nail color Big Apple Red by OPI. So this is like an apple red, bright red nail, and I'm loving this for fall. Right now, my nails are neutral, but I'm getting them done again next week, and I'm like, do I go back to red? Because when you have red nails, you just feel like such a badass bitch, and you're just like, hell yeah. And then if you're single, there's this whole red nail theory where it's like apparently guys are attracted to girls with red nails. Not saying you should do your nails for men and their approval and validation. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you're trying to reel the men in, apparently this is a way to do it. So I just think it gives you crazy confidence, and you're going to feel like a baddie. So do the red nails.
Love it. Yeah, they say red's very in for fall this year. So
yeah, definitely. On trend, also attracting boys, feeling like a baddie. What more could you ask for?
I'm also very intrigued by this Perfect Weekend set. I feel like I'm envisioning you use like the hydrate on the Friday after work, the Illuminate like Saturday you're getting ready, and then you went too hard on Saturday, so then you're rocking the Soothe on Sunday. It's probably overkill, 3 masks in 3 days, but that's how I plan my life.
I think you get 2 of each in the box, so there you go.
2 weekends.
You can splurge. Yeah, the Soothe one's really nice. It's like an aloe or something. So in Mexico, it was like, you know, of course, after the plane and everything, but it was like, yeah, if you're going on a vacation and you have been out in the sun, like, do the Soothe one. That sounds so nice. But
I love the patchology, like their eye patches.
It's good stuff.
Is that what they're called? Yeah. Especially are like so good.
Yeah.
Great. Last category, T for treating. What are we treating ourselves to?
Okay, I'll go first. And again, I have a whole list of things, but I'll read. First and biggest splurge has been an Aritzia Super Puff. And you guys are either thinking, girl, really? Or girl, you didn't already have one? Like, I feel it's the most basic thing. And no, I did not have one up until literally 2 weeks ago. And it's in this like very like light dusty pink. So I'm so excited to wear it. Obviously, it's not cold enough just yet for it. But that was my big splurge to myself, a new winter coat. I've had the same one since I think literally high school. So it's about damn time I get a new winter coat. And it's not, you know, as expensive as like a Canada Goose or something like that. But I don't know. So I'm so excited about that. I also have a few other fashion faves because I've actually been treating myself quite a lot to new clothes and like trying to build up my basics and like a capsule wardrobe. So yeah, last year in the coat department, I bought the wool blend dad coat from Abercrombie, and it's in this like nice camel color, and I wore it so much last year. Like, it can be really nice over like a formal dress or like a night you're dressing up, or you can just throw it over like jeans and a white t-shirt, which is like my uniform, to be honest. But it just looks so good and it's cozy. I don't know. It's so cute. So also wanted to mention that. And then outside of coats, I also have been obsessed with my leather skirt, which is also from Aritzia, which is interesting because these are the only things from Aritzia that I own. And they both made the list. But I've just haven't been having a skirt moment, and my leather skirt is so comfy. It's so cute. It looks good with like tall or short boots. I'm obsessed. And then I've been typically matching it with a sweater, like a big chunky sweater. And I've been getting new sweaters from Oakenfort, which is a Canadian company, but I'm pretty sure you can still shop them in the US as well. Actually, if this is on video, my sweater right now, it's like a checkerboard. It's from Oakenfort, but all my favorite sweaters are from them. And I feel like it's especially cute with my leather skirt. So
love it.
Whole new outfit. Yeah. New outfit, new coats. That's what I'm treating myself to.
The best. I am also treating myself to clothes. I recently bought a new pair of jeans from Free People, and they were very, very expensive, like 3 times my usual limit of what I will spend on jeans. But
what brand are they?
Like are the Free People brand. Is that Citizens of Humanity or
okay?
No?
That's
it's
not
one
Free
of those
People brand,
like,
but that is
yeah, I don't know. I have Free People jeans I've purchased before. And so what I love about Free People jeans is that I actually fit smaller in their jeans than other places, which is suspicious because you would think that Free People would be the opposite. But they're so comfy. Like, they're not very denim-y. They're very stretchy. So it's probably like super spandexy or whatever, but they're so comfortable. So I have 2 pairs of bell bottoms from them that are like high-waisted but super comfy. And so I recently just bought a 3rd pair because my Free People just got rid of their sales section, and now their sales section is just a room full of online returns. So basically you can shop things there that they don't normally have in store.
Right.
And yeah, you get to shop whatever the online returns were. And so there was this pair of jeans that I really love, and they were in my exact size, and I tried them on. So then I was like, it's fate. Like, just don't question it, buy the jeans.
Meant to be. Yep.
Yeah. So I treated myself to these jeans, and then I texted like everyone I know a picture of me in the jeans. I haven't worn them yet. They're still in the bag.
Oh,
but
are those the ones with the stars?
The star on the butt.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, girl, you didn't text me. But yes, you did.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, because it's always, I feel like my dream aesthetic is like Rockstar Girlfriend. And
Totally.
these are like bell bottoms with like sparkly silver stars on the butt. So it's a look,
Like,
and I'm very excited.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And they
I'm
weren't that
excited
expensive.
too.
They were $250.
Okay.
That was the total, including tax. So they were probably
That's
like
actually not too
$220
bad.
or whatever. But I'm like, I will not spend more than $100 on jeans. That's crazy. But
Totally.
I was like, you know what?
I'm wearing
Don't question
Old
it.
Navy. Yeah, I'm wearing Old Navy jeans right now.
Yeah.
I think they were on sale for $20.
Yeah, I got all my jeans at Winners. I'm like, Levi's,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
good enough. Yeah. But I splurged.
Wow. We love that. Hopefully you get lots of wear out of them. I'm going to pressure you to wear them to every show
I feel like
of your husband.
I will. They're the kind of thing, like I already have 2 bell bottoms from them. And buying the bell bottoms the first time, they were like, it was right during COVID. And so it wasn't as expensive as it was now. And so it was like, they're $90. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I guess I'll just buy them. And then I wear them nonstop. Like, I'm almost concerned I'm going to rip them now because I just wear them so much. So I'm sure I will. My cost per wear will probably be low compared to some pants I've purchased. But yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
There you
Love
have
it. Well, there you go,
That's
guys.
our report.
That's our fall report. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And a little extra.
Yeah.
Little sports talk, little hockey,
dating.
Toronto men's.
Yeah. Night out on the town. It wasn't really dating. It was more like men talking at us and us walking away. But, you know, we have it all here.
Man, actually, this is the other part I didn't vocalize yet. Was prior to talking, I was about to call my Uber. It was like $25 to Uber home. Great. We start talking to these guys. Okay, great. Like half an hour later, go to call my Uber. It was like $56. I was like, damn. Can men do anything right? Like, come on. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, YouTube's gonna drag us in the comments. But
it was also funny when we were talking to them. We were like, did you win? And they were like, no. We lost so badly. I was like, okay, well, our Uber's here. See you later.
So funny. Classic. I guess karma got us because the Jays lost like the next day, but whatever.
Yeah. What can you do?
Oh, goodness. Too fun. Okay.
Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Yeah. Wrap it up, girls. We definitely have a different energy. I don't know if it's like the recording the video or the Friday night or the Friday the 13th or what's going on.
Yeah. And even,
it was fun.
You guys know I love to talk, and I haven't talked to you guys for 2 weeks.
True.
I think that's the problem. I think it's me.
It's exciting.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
That's the clip. Put it on TikTok. Okay. So, obviously, we put out these episodes. They come out on Tuesdays. You can follow us and subscribe to us to see when those new episodes drop. We are also on social media at our Golden 20s. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, and we're trying to make it work on YouTube. As I said, we are only getting hate comments. Please, if you love us, go leave us a nice comment or subscribe, because we did have someone tag us in a video where they used like an audio from our podcast. So that was nice. That counteracts all the negative men. But I'm just saying, if you love YouTube and you're a YouTube person, you can check us out there. We're going to experiment, see what happens. And yeah, like we said, we have a Q&A episode coming up. So submit your questions. They could either be for like full episodes. If it's maybe too much, we'll save it. Or if it's like really specific, we can throw it in to that. And we also have a Patreon, which is the best way to show your support for the podcast. All the episodes go there early. They will get to see this beautiful video before the rest of the world. And we put bonus content up there. We put bonus episodes before, recipes, all kinds of craziness, book recommendations. Sometimes I just send little messages out there. Sometimes I put playlists up there. So as we've mentioned before, we don't make any money from this. That's the only way we do. So if you love what we do, we would appreciate that. If you maybe don't have any money right now, we would also appreciate a recommendation or 5 stars or whatever, a review, whatever it's called on each platform, because that also really helps us. Okay, I think that's the end of my spiel. So thanks for listening.
That's the end of that. Yeah, the end of episode housekeeping, the beginning of...
Yeah, I wrapped it up.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.